Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Gerald. It is the 18th. You're on the back end of your weekend, and next week is going to be a very short week. How is everybody doing? Yes, this is on that backside where the tempo is going to start to turn up a little bit. This is that moment when people are going to start to look at the time and look at their finances and weigh friendships and associations, because truth of the matter is Christmas. Christmas is going to be a moment of validation for the strength of your relationship, as well as the truth. But regardless if you are spending 50 cents or $50 or $500 or $5,000 or whatever the increment may be, just make sure that whatever it's directed to, whoever the recipient is, they honor you. And what I mean by honor you doesn't mean through monetary forms, or the fact that they truly value your friendship. Because see, that's what you bring to the table, y'all. It doesn't matter what's found in your pocket. It doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter what connections you have if you don't have a connection with yourself first. Who am I talking to? Some of y'all may be going through this season, really nothing but validation of what's always been. People just kind of fall off the planet these days, huh? It was all good yesterday, Gerald. I don't understand. I ain't heard from them. But the truth of the matter is, they tired of spending on you. And they were looking for an argument or a distraction to yank them out. Looking for the blind tag, so to speak. So they don't have to give their time. Now, this is not shade, and if you feel a certain way, you got to source where it's coming from. But when you look in, because it don't matter what's outside your door. It doesn't matter if it's made by Mac. You can't fool the person you were born to be. But you won't be the person you were born to be until you decide to claim you. Because last time I checked, I've never seen or heard a person introduced as Mr. or Miss, last name Victor. See, nobody is. You will never master that. Just like you will never be the master of your communicational skills. This is a lifetime requirement. I don't have to tell you. Just look at your last breakdown. Breakdown in regards to your communication. If you thought you had it together, why was the disagreement? If they truly got you, why wasn't it received? But see, we live in the world where we give too many passes for those who just show up. They just participate, only to have to pay for it in the back end. This brings me to this video right here. You've been waiting on it, and I've been thinking. You knew what was coming. So now it's here. This video right here is the 2017 message for the year. This message is for the intended heart, the intended mind, the intended truth. Some of y'all gonna get it. Some of y'all gonna run from it. And some of y'all gonna feel it. Why? Because the real you is going to step out of the shadows. The real you is going to demand that you take introspection. That means to go within. See, 2017 is going to be that year of validation. That's right. We're talking about if there's a bunch of squares here and a bunch of circles here and a bunch of triangles there, there's going to be a spiritual alignment going on. And there are going to be events that are going to shake off the crust, shake off the rough areas, test the authenticity of what you claim. You're a boss ass chick. That's what they say. I'm a thug. That's what you claim. I don't need a man, Gerald. That's what you preach. I'm just a sucker for love. Maybe that's why you weep. 2017, y'all. Like it or not, the real you is coming. And everything that you've done thus far, because see, life is nothing but progression. It shouldn't be about regrets. You know why people regret what they do? Because they allow their ego and pride to get in front of it. See, if God didn't want you here, you didn't have to wake up. You think that lacquer that you're putting on, and just think about all the things you do before you step outside your door. Just think about it. Maybe that has something to do with the inner frustration you have because they don't understand what is required. But why don't you take a step back? Why don't you take a step back and let the real you be seen? Maybe if you allow the real you to be seen, automatically by default, those who never claimed you will be seen. Well, Gerald, this in this world, you gotta give a little to get a little, but you the one hurting. Yeah, but Gerald, I want that ride or die, man. Well, you keep walking with it, you're gonna die for real, because your life is gonna be the first one that goes. Why you think you got all those dramas? Look at your life. Remember where your life was before they said the first hello? You think that's by coincidence? No, that was by soul. Your reality, you wake up, you can't see where you're going because there's so many distractions, but you're wondering why your money, time is plummeting. It's because somewhere along the line, you gave up on you. You said, I'll just give a little bit for now. But now you're seeing what it costs you. Don't you realize the devil's a liar? And that will always be. He loves to put distractions out for you and me. That's the whole point, to set you up so you can open up that door. All the while convincing yourself, no, I ain't hurt. But secretly, you're getting more. See, what is going to happen in 2017 is something that I've echoed the last 4 years. You are in the season of the ant and the grasshopper. And depending on what position you claim, that will be your reality. And oh, yes, just as everything comes full circle, and it shall, all those things you did behind closed doors with them secrets will be known, very visible. I don't want you to be scared, y'all, because by being scared, that means you are turning your back on your life. You already know what you sacrificed, what it cost you, and what it lacks. You can't find peace of mind with her, and you definitely can't find comfort in him. It doesn't matter till you ground your feet and look within. But see, I get it. I get it, and I understand. Because you're too busy looking at social media, looking for the definitions of what a man. Let me tell you something. You can't call yourself a man until you bend them knees, ask for forgiveness. Then you'll start to believe. Because see, you were already given the tools. The question when you turned to look away, who was really the fool? Now, coincidence is one thing because everything is rhyming. No, everything that comes from my mouth is not scripted. My goal is your heart, and that's the timing. Because I want you to know one thing. You are loved. Don't matter where you are. But you can't be free till you heal them scars. Now, did I plan for my words to come out and have a certain tone? No. Just like you didn't plan that you were going to be where you're at, but you feel like you're alone. The question is why? What you running from? Because until you decide to ground your feet, you're going to continue to be numb. You got to understand something, y'all. He's a custom-tailored God. He didn't need your permission to create you. He's God. Just like you didn't need permission from them to see your beauty and greatness. But until you do, you'll be walking around where fate lives. See, deception and mind control and manipulation is one thing. It doesn't matter. It has no validity unless you embrace what is within. See, wherever there's a void, there is opportunity. That's why being human beings, you will always want what you do not have. But until you're ready to be authentic and claim your life back, you'll not be on the right path. Now, I am trying really, really hard to stop what I'm doing because my words are just rhyming. This is not intended. But I got a feeling right now that's how you think. what you're feeling is nothing but a matrix, the algorithm of your life. It's become predictable, except when that pain comes. That's when that bull in that china shop shows up, huh? Thank you, Father. Thank you. I don't know why you had me doing that, but I'm speaking with somebody. 2017, y'all, for some, is going to be your breakout year. But before it can become your breakout year, you got to break through you. And to break through you, you have to break down what has kept you still. See, a lot of people get caught up when I use the term still. What are you saying, Joe? You say 1 minute to be still in regards to allowing yourself to go within, and then you say still as like I'm being deprived, I'm being oppressed. Just look at it this way. It only applies to what your reality reflects. If you know what you need, what's keeping you from it? Truth, monetary, influence. Nobody's going to know your story or get you until you get you. Let me pump my brakes. I got to throw this out. I'm going to throw this disclaimer out right now. Just know that everything that I convey comes from a good place. My intentions is not to offend. But if it pisses you off, what comes out my mouth, but you reflect, I've done my job. Because you might not see a perspective of what's going on in your life. But you see all the drama that's coming on, the struggle and the strife. All I'm trying to do is let you know there's a better way. Why are you dreaming about rest? Let me tell you how inundated we are as a society. And it's been going on forever. You know the word vacation, right? What do most people do when they go on vacation? They spend money, they travel, and they rest. You get some of your best sleep when you're on vacation. Well, let me ask you this. Why can't you apply that in your life? You hear people say all the time, hear a lot of women say this, well, that's the only time, Gerald, I get to let my hair down. First of all, that ain't your hair. That's not your hair. Because your hair is more beautiful than that if you allow yourself to be disciplined to let the world see it by growth. Let me tell you something. There are many aspects about a woman that a real man finds very beautiful. Right off the bat, there's nothing more beautiful to witness when it comes to a woman than a woman that invests in her mind. Because when you invest in your mind, you know that endless reserve of manifestation, because God told you right in the beginning, you can be anything you want. But first, you got to claim it. And before you can claim anything, you got to think it. So you got to question where the inspiration comes from. Who put that thought right there? And what it would cause. I find it kind of funny when I hear people say, well, I'm a boss, girl. Well, last time I checked, last time I haven't seen, I don't see anybody saying, well, I own, this is my property and I have sovereignty over it. But you don't have sovereignty over your challenges. How soon do we forget, or how easily we deflect the things that cause validation? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen in 2017, but let me stop because I didn't finish my first thought. As I mentioned, there's nothing more beautiful than a woman's mind. The second thing that a man, I'm not talking about a boy, because a boy will treat your life like 7-Eleven. He'll constantly come in and out that door. Doesn't mean if he buying anything. The second thing is she looks at her mortality. So therefore she invests in her being. May it be her health. She knows this is temporary. So she invests in that. Third thing, she invests in her dreams. So there's action there. And if you're privileged to get a snapshot of that, take note. Because inspiration can be found anywhere if you just be still and take note. Lastly, it's because she knows she is not a representation of the world's view. She is original. She ain't cookie cutter. She's the exception to the rule. You can't put her in a box. Those are a couple things that real men find alluring. But more importantly, she doesn't allow her setbacks and flaws to dictate her steps. She owns them. And her words are precious. That's why it's very important to listen. But I get it. society, society's whole view is to get that mind, to hijack your self-esteem, to convince you you are the outsider. And to be a part of this, you got to stay the status quo. But I'm pretty sure a lot of those things that have been shown, many would give it back to get back to who they really were. All this talk about equality, it makes me laugh. Because how can you have equality if you do not see your worth? How can you speak on something when you don't protect what matters most? We're talking about you. But if you allow the people in the cheap seats to keep the machine going, they're going to keep ripping and running. And there ain't no slowing. They're going to make sure they break you and leave you confused. Because the greatest commodity given from you is your time. And that's something you can't lose. But see, I got it, because most people won't tell you this. They're too busy doing this. Instead of grounding their feet, they look at it as a risk. But look at what you don't have and look how you act when you know that what's going on within yourself is truth. You don't like that because it shows you what you lack. 2017, y'all. The great deceiver is going to be revealed. You're going to see who has your best interest, and as well as understand who was keeping it real. Some of y'all going to be shocked because you're going to say, how did I get here? But you know, it was the day that you decided to turn your back on yourself. Or just say no. 2017 year 2017 year 2017, y'all, is going to be the year of validation. I kept saying it's about, we are in the spiritual season of the ant and the grasshopper. And I'm going to tell you what, some of y'all got deceived and got, and you've been wrestling with this for a little bit because things ain't adding up. And no matter how hard you try to flip it to make it fit right, it don't fit because it's not you. But guess what? The moment that you decide to open up that heart, you'll get to see what peace looks like, because that's the real you. Yeah, I know there are going to be some people that are going to turn around and say, whatever, Gerald, I ain't hearing what you got to say. But see, those are also the same people that gave up on themselves a long time ago, not yesterday. So you can't call yourself strong if you've got fear. If you don't invest in your life, how can you say you're keeping it real? But you're weighing the things you've seen and felt And you say, no, that's not that bad. But deep down inside, you try to keep it all down of what you know you knew what you deserved and could have had. Now, here's a beautiful thing about that, y'all. Because maybe what's going on now, some of y'all gonna come from out of that closet. I'm talking about denial. Because where denial is, deflection is close. Ego is right around the corner, and pride is felt the most. They're related to pain, and all they know is mistrust. And that's why when they come into your life, you think it's love, but really it's nothing but lust. God's got something better for you, but it's going to require a price. Are you going to have the courage to turn your back on them? And just know they got you like this. All the while they're looking at you, thinking they got you figured out, when they should be looking at themselves and trying to figure it out. What's a life not claimed? It's a waste. You can't get that time back. Not today. No, you can't replace it. If you ask me why this is coming out the way it is, I cannot tell you. I do not know. I'm trying to stop, but it just wants to flow. Lord, all right. 2017 is going to be that climatic year, y'all, that you're going to know where you stand. Because everything that is not built from it is going to fall from it. All those associations and connections will be tested one by one. And the conclusion will be this. It will be a reflection of your state of mind. Some of y'all won't admit that you don't like the truth. You're hoping that you won't get discovered. You're hoping that as long as I keep the cloud of denial there, I can maintain. No, 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 no. You know they about to, that ain't happening no more. 2017 is going to be about getting where you fit in. That it's going to be about divine placement. It's going to be about fear busting, shackle breaking, and truth saying, and accountability. Some people are going to be shook to the core because in the back of their mind, they never thought that it was possible. They thought they had it in the bag. You can't put a limitation on God. Some of y'all are going to have the courage to see your demons too, with or without your consent, because things are going to start to add up. Every dollar, every red cent. You're going to understand why they are connected to you and what is the source. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not supposed to. Because this is validation. Somebody's going to wake up and do this. I wish you're going to work with me, y'all. I got this feeling. Somebody going to do this. They're going to wake up. They're going to go to bed one night. And something's going to happen that day, the day before. And they're going to go to bed. And they're going to wake up and they're going to walk in the bathroom. And they're going to do this. Who am I talking to? You're going to look at this and you're going to say, this is the source of my problems. This ain't me. This is me. Why can't they love me? The real deal. I commend you on that. Because that'll be the first time you actually get out of your own way. But see, you got people that are relying that you stay the status quo. Stay in your box. Go with the flow. And they're going to ride you. They're going to ride you till something break. But if it ain't that hard, well, it doesn't matter. Because you're going to have to claim that mistake. See, listen, y'all. It's starting up again, and I don't know why it's happening. The words keep flowing like this, and I'm not doing this. It's just coming out. I believe that there's going to be an epidemic, a pandemic in 2017 known as truth. People are going to be compelled to speak from their heart and claim their truth. All those alliances and associations, they're going to fall. They're going to fall like broken glass. But you make sure you stand tall. The reason why it is doing that, because it is finally breaking down your fears. It's also letting you know that your angels have always been close and God is near. Yeah, that feeling you're feeling right now, right in here. So you got to understand, even the Grinch grew his heart, but really the Grinch was a narcissist. Think about it. Look at that story again. You'll see. Grinch preyed on the innocent. Kind of like what pedophiles do. Kind of like what sociopaths do. But see, really, narcissistic behavior is nothing but an umbrella term, because there are different stages to get you to the payoff of narcissism, and that is nothing but a demon incarnated. Because see, a demon has to stay employed, but a demon can't have access unless you know God. If you know God first, they can't go near you. Maybe that's the reason why the kitchen sink is getting thrown right at you. Maybe that may be feeling, that's why your foundation is shaking right now. And you said it was all good yesterday. Nah, that's God trying to go into your heart and show you another way. See, when he said he was the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, there's a hash mark. It's called your life, where it begins and where it'll end. But if you turn around and allow someone to paint your life, every stroke, you'll miss the things that are important. even the subtle notes. There'll never be another you. I wish you could see. Doesn't matter how much wood he got, he can never be. So that might be the reason why some of you will shift the paradigm and say, why won't someone claim me? They can't claim you until you claim you and then be. Some of y'all are going to wake up and say, well, Gerald, I was in a dark space, placement of time. Someone convinced me not to love myself, and I felt like I was doing time. In my mind, that's what you felt. That's why you drank and did what you did. Instead of claiming yourself to be an adult, you was acting like a kid. God loves you, and so does the people that have been blessed to try to show you the way. You feel it in your heart. Why? Because their soul is there to stay. See, a lot of people get it twisted when they use the term of "I don't love you no more," secretly lying to themselves, embracing more pain more and more. See, you can't run from you, no matter how hard you try, because all that pain and denial and trust that was betrayal lives inside. And it will continue to get worse until you demand the truth. Own what you said, claim what you do. See, you got to do all these things because, see, that's part of your testimony. You can't have a testimony without being tested. So, how do you call yourself strong if it's not protected? 2017, the fool will acknowledge that God is real. Because all those things that were false, they'll be validated by the real. You'll see that this was nothing but a sham, and I don't understand how I bought it. Maybe when you looked at that bruise or that bump, you understand why you caught it. Listen, this ain't shade. This is love, and it's only for the intended heart and mind. Don't you understand that until you decide to claim you, you can't get your money right? You understand that, right? See, in other words, the things that you put false validation on, they become the examples of you. Maybe that's the reason why you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. You claim your life back and you'll win it all. But the price is going to be this. All those fake people, family and so-called friends, they won't understand who you are until you look within. Because see, that's when the battle is going to come, y'all. You're going to be prepared for that. You might going to have to call it for what it is and take a few steps back. What are they bringing to the table? What is it? Can you see? Who's doing the work? Is it them? Is it me? But whatever effort that you put out, just know this. If God is not in front of it, it is already a calculated miss. Because, see, the devil is a liar. He kills, steals, and destroys. Maybe that's why you feel so insecure. Maybe that's the reason why you can't close that door. Because someone convinced you that you ain't safe. You just need a body to make sure. But if they don't have a relationship with God first, you know that pain, that fear, you're going to need that to endure. Because you don't get a pass off of BS. You don't get a pass on deflection. But until you decide to love yourself, you're not going to understand what was required for your protection. Let me tell you something, y'all. I didn't listen. Everything that falls from my mouth comes from my spirit. Nothing is scripted. Nothing's wrote down. Only thing that is consistent is this one cup of coffee, pack of cigarettes. I open my heart, but I won't deflect. Because, see, I am a man. I place him first. My feet are grounded, and I don't catch that thirst. Oh, I love women, but I don't need them all. She doesn't have a connection with God, that relationship will fall. Because, see, what's at stake, Kings, is your last name. Have you forgot? You think she's going to be your wife, but deep inside, she acts like a... You can't build with that because she refuses to grow. And if you ask too many questions, out the door she gonna go. Why? Because people are afraid to be themselves. They feel that they've got to play a part, all the while not taking note to look inside that heart. Think about it. Society told you to grow your breasts and wear a wig, not love yourself. Society told you you ain't good enough. Don't invest in that brain. Just another link inside that chain. Because, see, they don't want you to be you. They want you to be the status quo. Don't honor yourself. Treat yourself like a... And then you get surprised when the fibroids came, the bumps and the bruises, but no one wants to claim. We are what we attract. Don't worry, he'll be gone soon. But the whole objective was to get next to you, to hear you moan and swoon. This is free will, y'all. Doesn't matter how good your stroke is. If you can't build a life, who really cares? But what concerns me now is the fact that they don't hide in plain sight. They're going after our kids. They're attacking our rights. Let me tell you something. As long as you live of the world, you'll feel the effects. Plain and simple. As long as you refuse to talk to that little boy or that little girl that lives in you, you're not going to see a direction. You're not going to have protection. Doesn't matter what you drive and where you lay your head. Pain has no barriers. And that's one beautiful thing about pain, y'all, because pain does not know time. It sustains, remains, just like truth. No, if you're living your life to throw it up on the wall and see what sticks, you realize that ain't nothing but bad habits and insanity. Until you love yourself, it won't quit. It gets worse because you refuse to grow. Instead of claiming your respect, you acting like the common. You know what's really sad about that? What your elders say. Their struggles and strife, the pain, the dismay. 2017, y'all, is going to be the validation year where the roles will change. The deceiver will be deceived. The abuser will be abused. And the love will be given back. I'm not talking about how many O's you can get her. Because let's be honest. You get more when you feel safe. The more safe you feel, the more freer you become. But if you ain't living your life right, what? You feel numb, frozen, stuck in time, and everything going on around you. But why don't you look at all that drama that you've attracted and all the pain that still surrounds you? What is your truth? Why won't you admit that that pain that you tried to bury still is there, impacted every relationship because you said you didn't care? You know that's a lie. And you feel a certain kind of way. Why won't you be honest with yourself and get the hell out of the way of you? Most people won't do it. They want it given like every handout, every coupon, looking for a discount. Come on, man, hook me up. Give me a deal. But yet you want to run your damn mouth like you keeping it real. I know you're at the point now where the excuses have ran out. The actions have been shown and your validity has no clout. But you want to look at it as an obsession. You can't be me. I love God and I place him before me. But you know, we live in a society, y'all. I'm listen, y'all, this is what God's doing to me. The backhanded comments and the passive aggressive behavior. 2017 is going to be the year of instant validation. We're talking, you might know it as karma. But I've been saying this for 5 years. Energy out is energy received. See, we retract what we are on a soul level. So if he's over there beating on you, Who was that you were beating on? If she was stealing from you, who you stole from? If they are lying to you, who'd you lie to? If you are making a point to say, well, you know what, I'm a free spirit, girl. Don't you realize when you say you're a free spirit, you basically saying, yeah, I want possession. Because demons like free spirited people. They love that. Because you're not claiming you. If you were claiming you, you would be protecting you because you would be loving you. You're so prideful you won't even let the tears fall. And you're wondering why your life is not where it is. It's because your ego and pride has placed you in a reality you are not built for. But all that can change. Why should you not be loving yourself, but you let him call you out your name? That's okay, Gerald. I don't need a man. But you call him at 3 o'clock in the morning so he can slang. That's not the way to your heart. It never was. Things just don't happen by chance or just because. There is divine intervention. Why won't you see it? Maybe that's why the reason your dreams won't come, because you won't claim it. Because to claim it, you got to be it. That's the secret to, that's what the secret is all about, manifestation. But to manifest it, you have to be true. You have to make a decision which side you riding with. You have to decide to be you. And here, let me make this. I feel this in my heart to tell somebody this. Stop treating your life like it's a hubcap. Some people like y'all millennials don't know what I'm talking about. A hubcap was an imitation rim for automobiles. You couldn't afford the rim, you bought the hubcap and you imitated, you bought into the look. Right? You got me? Okay. Why are y'all treating your life that way? If that's not who you are, why are you acting like that is? Truth is because you won't speak your truth. But here's the funny thing about it. The things you deny is the things you'll be. So I ain't like that, Gerald. Yes, you are. Because we are what we attract. No one wakes up in the morning and say, hey, you know what? I want to be a racist today. They have to be taught that. And they have to be shown the way. But see, once again, we are what we attract. You know, God can be the greatest. God is the greatest comedian because he'll teach you how to act. See, the things that you hate will be placed in your life. Whatever you think is your principle will be validation and your strike. So while you turn around trying to emulate, trying to be like her, who's acting like you? Come on, queens. Come on, mamas. Don't you understand? Each one teach one. You acting like her, but your little one acting like you. And if you don't get it together, she's going to bring you pain you can't deal with or get through. Because you got to own your life, y'all. It's a choice. But it matters not if you don't even know the sound of your voice. Hold that thought. Thank you for your patience. 2017 is going to be about the rubber meets the road, and real recognizes real. And there's going to be a whole lot of epiphanies going down. And you're going to be like, I've wasted all this time with this certain belief system, this certain ideology, and what has it given me? But what I want you to understand is this. When that realization comes, do not, do not, do not take that as an opportunity to beat yourself up. You're only going off of what was shown. By example. Maybe that's the reason why you are alone. See, people always want what they don't have. But them same people won't do the work. And they end up last. But what did God say? Those who are first are made last for a reason. For a moment of time, maybe a season. Why? To ask you this. Did you get it yet? Because when you get it, that's your wisdom. That is the starting of your get right season. Some of y'all, you got to live your life. I understand that. Some of y'all have already made a calculated decision that when the 2017 bells ring, you up out of there. You got a new leaf. But what you fail to realize that you've got a soul tie. And it lies within you, beneath. You ain't going to just walk out of people's lives and have no accountability and think that's that. That's when you're going to get challenged and chastised. Why? Because, see, you got to break off those rough edges, but you can't break nothing off until you acknowledge it exists. Put in that time. Let go of that wit, because it was that wit that convinced you to step away from who you really are. That blessed heart. That man, that woman, even that star. Oh yeah, there are going to be a lot of people turning leaves and people falling away, because you're going to finally have the courage to place God first. And as you already know, he makes a He makes a way when there is no way. I congratulate you. Stick to the course. It's about your harvest. It's not about your loss. So you worried about why Charlie ain't called you and didn't get you that gift, but the gift was his heart, not his wit. If you're measuring it by the stroke that his body can do, you both will be broken. Some black, some blue. But see, I get it because you saw your mom do it that way. And you say, well, that's the way relationships go. It shouldn't challenge your self-esteem, self-worth, make you feel like you're the, I'm not going to disrespect you because you can only disrespect yourself. But you know I'm speaking truth. And you know that's where the wealth. I love each and every one of you. And I want 2017 to be your breakout year. But until you ground your feet, you can't let go of that fear. How about owning your placement? Can you do that? Most people won't do it, thinking that's cool, but really they're whack. Millennials, I send love. I want you to know this. You will not know yourself until you are blessed to see the age of 35. And I know right now you're having fun doing things you shouldn't, but everything has a price. Everything has a price. But I don't want you to live your life in regret. I want you to be able to see the real you. That little girl, that little boy that continues to live inside you. Because see, that on a literal sense is what you see. The events in your life make your reality. Yeah, you could have plenty of people in the room looking at the same thing, but they'll all get different perspectives because it was divinely made that way. So who's loving you? Who's loving you, I ask? How much are your dreams worth? When you're able to answer that, you'll be able to manifest. Because the people in the cheap seats, they like it this way, broken, impressionable. They don't want you to grow. To some of them, you're just a entertainment, somewhere to go. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're calling you. Wow, no disrespect. But if you were their king or queen, don't you think that would be something they would protect? See, you can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. Let's make that clear. But as long as you put your pride and ego in front, your reality, as you know it, will not be clear. So I'm going to bring this home. Lord, can I do this, please? 2017, you're going to see the opportunities. Some of y'all going to see them demons too. Some of you are going to make contact with your angels. Because angels are real, y'all. Think of it this way. See, society made these atheists, those who that give empowerment to Lucifer, they made him cool, right? How are you going to believe in that when you don't get acknowledgement for the person that created him? You don't actually think that Lucifer just showed up, do you? Lucifer was the number one angel because he was the first that God created. He was made perfect. So you can also say, here, he knows all, sees all. That's why he's able to tear your life up. Here, he was the day star. Some of y'all might get a little cringe off there because you see it. You see the imagery on, and it's, if you look, you see it. If you don't see the colors, you see the descriptive. It's right in front of you. And that's why he has so much dominion on this planet. Why? Because it was his ego and pride that got him cast out. And I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm being okay. Some of y'all are going to be new parents and don't even realize it yet. No, it's not going to be that person that you're with. Mm-mm. This is going to be somebody that's going to step right into your life, and you're going to be linked to them for a good or bad meaning. A child's going to come from this. And you do understand that anytime that you create a child through lust, you suffer. You do understand that, right? I mean, let's look at it from a scientific point of view. 23 girl chromosomes, 23 chromosomes makes 46, which makes your blessing. But that child becomes your lesson too, because they are an extension and a reflection of your spirit. So you may be seeing behaviors that piss you the hell off right now. Why? Because you're looking at yourself. That's why, you see this a lot. Single mom doesn't have a relationship with the father. Then another man comes in. You can flip the parental position. And the child is the beacon or acts out. Right? Now, what you're seeing from the behavior of that child is a direct reflection of that parent. The commonality is how the other parent is going to respond. Who am I talking to? You may have had a approach of this. Well, my parents were physical, and I don't want my children to go through that, so I'm gonna have a timeout approach. You do understand that your mate is gonna have the mindset of your parents. No different. Well, you see this too. You may say, well, you know what? He has that perspective, hands on, and I'm time out. So I'm going to take the child away. But then you get mad on how that child is developed. In some situations, listen, I had to figure this one out. Boy, I did. Your realization may be this. You know why your relationships are this way? You know why they're not working? Well, 50% of it is the decisions of how you live your life today, and 50% of it is how you were raised yesterday. So, in other words, if you had both parents or single household, and your parent didn't give you what you needed to feel emotionally safe, you acted out, or you rebelled. Why? Because what you needed the whole time was supposed to be given by the other parent. So indirectly, you got hijacked. And that might be the reason why you are attracted to a certain caliber of person, male or female. Let me tell you something, Queens. If you have the ability to heal relationships, the number one relationship you need to have is with your father. He is going to be a wealth of knowledge and tell you about you. Why? Because you came from him. So, of course, he's going to protect you. But what happens if you have a little girl? She's going to emulate her environment. So if she was raised by her mom, she's going to be a walking, talking example of what her mom did or did not. Listen, you don't wake up. You don't wake up being promiscuous. You don't wake up being an abuser. No, we are taught that. Some people don't want the truth, but it is the truth. Until you have the courage to break that shackle, you're going to be a slave to it. I got a feeling some of y'all this is going to be the year that you heal your families. And some of y'all going to finally, and I'm not making light of this, some of y'all have had a conversation that should have been had long ago. But because of the fact that the perception that you had in regards to that significant other, that loved one, you're like, I don't want to be out of line. But you living out of line. And guess what? Remember what I said earlier? They were the ones that set you on that course. They were the ones that did not do their job. They were the ones that should have protected you from you by educating you. Why are you waking up in tears? Sitting on the head of your bed, rocking yourself about where your life is. You know why you rock? Because that little girl, little boy is envisioning what it would feel like to have that arm of that parent, that significant other, saying it's going to be okay. Who am I talking to? Meanwhile, you're getting in his car. Meanwhile, he's treating you with the utmost disrespect. No, he gonna marry me, Gerald. No, he's not. You are the muse. He does everything he can think of because you're nothing but a vessel to him. You're nothing but a utility equipment for her. Oh, she cool, man, but she said she liked it her own way. Yeah, she liked it her own way, but yet she won't give you a commitment. Why? She can't commit. That's one thing I've learned about women too. See, what separates women from men is this: the way your brain is beautifully made. When you have an orgasm, it releases dopamine. Now, I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to go with this. Okay, got it. Because I got to throw the second part in there too. But it is for you, my queens, a natural, innate part of your instinct to latch, especially after you've been intimate. But one thing I've noticed about women, if she's gotten to that point of claiming her companion, whoever is in that role, whoever was there before, she shuts that door. And you see this through her behavior. That's why some people, you can just walk around butt ass naked. And there are some people you're like this. Why? The second part. It's spiritual. Because your spirit, when the two become one, whoever has a dominant spirit, the weaker one will take on the traits. You see it all the time. But depending on how your connection is, I'm going to tell you how strong that is. The next time you have intimate actions, this only applies to those people that are in fruitful relationships. I'm talking about you love this person. They love you. They respect you. So you can't respect someone and not protect them, especially as a man. If he ain't claiming you, you already know the truth. But for those people that have a spiritual connection, you are in a spiritual bond, you already know. You also know why you're there. Well, here's the beautiful thing, and it might scare some of y'all. The next moment you express yourself physically, this is what I want you to do. Soon as it has happened, I want you to get up. I want you to go right into the bathroom. Cut them lights on. Look in the mirror and look at your eyes. Look at them. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You'll actually be able to see that person's spiritual energy in you because your eyes are going to change. They may lighten up because your eyes may be dilated. Because I know some of y'all got this, I can't do it in the dark. Don't cut that light off. Let me tell you something, Queen. If he loves you, he don't give a damn if the light is on or off. Actually, you should have the light on. Let him see. Let him see everything. When you're in that bond, in that connection, look in each other's eyes. See, you can't connect to somebody if all you're doing is, oh, I see the back of her neck. That's it. I got that hair. No. And I guarantee you, a nickel to the dime, you don't feel emotionally safe. That's why it doesn't benefit you to sleep around. It does not. Actually, what it does is put another block in front of the person you are intended to be with. So you can't be with, listen, if you're living up this world, you can't be with that spiritual person. Why? Because God's like, yes, I know she's beautiful. Yes, she got it going. Yeah, I know. We got to protect this legacy. And every time you try to gravitate, guess what? You find more drama, don't you? You find more pain. You might even find somebody that, hey, where you been? Hey, how you been? Because you do understand that's the reason why people come back in your life. Some intentionally do this, and some stick to the path they're on. So what I'm trying to say to you is this. You can't speak your truth if you value your lie. You can't. And that's why you see this in little tidbits too. You'll see this. You run into somebody, you're living your life, and word comes back. Hey, guess who I saw? You ain't talked to them in 1,000 moons. And then validation comes from it. I saw Charlie over there. Yeah, he's still over there. Yeah, he dating. Yeah, that girl looked just like you. You know why? Because your spiritual essence is still there. There's still a reason that you guys are connected. And I wasn't gonna say nothing on it, but I'm gonna tell you this too. Because the spiritual folks know this. You know them dreams you having? Some people know them as omens. Some people know them as premonitions. Mm-hmm. When a person is truly in tune with their spirituality, everything that you hid, they see. Mm-hmm. Now here's a kicker though. Because demons got to stay employed, and a demon loves nothing more than destroy a spiritual person's foundation. Loves that. That's why the Jezebel spirit is like, toss it up, get turned out, yeah. Because see, the Jezebel spirit is an abomination. She is the definition of what being a harlot is. When y'all turn around and you use in terms of endearment, oh, she ratchet. You basically saying she's wretched. You know what wretched means? That means anything goes. That's what it means. And when you use the term turn up, you basically say be turned out. You're basically invoking spiritual influence. That's why you may have had this happen. Hey, somebody call you? You realize what you did? No. Boy, That's the setup. Because that's what the devil wants. The devil wants that. That's why he got demons everywhere, y'all. Because a demon's job has to be fulfilled or they get fired, literally. They ain't trying to get in that lake. So they like the shallow people. They like to froze. They like to keep you frozen. They want you to get numb. They want you to turn around and do those things you know you shouldn't be doing. But it feel good, Gerald. Yeah, but you ain't got no ring. You ain't got no last name. But then you got something to say, well, Gerald, I got the ring. I got the last name. What? Oh, you can fool them. But you also know what 12 years a slave is all about too, now don't you? Love doesn't hurt. And the one thing I can say this is you can't kill love. So let's throw this out here too. You need to stop saying, I don't love him. I don't love her. Sounding all crazy. That only applies if you don't love yourself. But a person that walks in pride and ego attracts nothing but pain. Doesn't matter the face, the message is always the same. I want you to give yourself to your demise. That's why he's a lion in the brush. That's why they say for the devil to flee, you got to put God first in everything you do. And once he realizes, yeah, this is for real, I'm out. Maybe that's the reason why they don't call you these days. This is not to discredit you. This is to let you know that your life is valuable and so much more. And it doesn't matter what you did. Let me explain that. You walk around acting like you got your shit together, excuse my French. You ain't fooling nobody but yourself. Because the truth of the matter is everybody can change. You woke up this morning, didn't you? Did you not? You have that beautiful mind, that beautiful heart. Why are you frustrated? You know why we feel pain? Because we won't learn the lesson that it represents. That's how you learn to deflect. Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. That's why they're saying, let it go, Gerald. Let it go. No, you be you. Because the people in the cheap seats, that's all they want you to do. They want you to turn around and give it a pass. So it can come right back around to begin until it lasts. Because where pain is, love does not exist. Deflection is a tool only to send your ass into the abyss. God said it best. Those who are last will be made first, and those first will be made last for a reason. But if until you decide to be real with yourself, to love yourself, to honor yourself, you'll be stuck in that season. You know why I say this to you? Because you know what you needed to do. It's time for you to ground your ground your feet and let the world see the real you. Because you can't run from you. You ain't got a lot, Craig. Craig will never claim you or give you his last name. He will rob you of your essence and continue to give you pain. And no, you're not exempt, my queens, because you do it the best. But you don't understand why all this BS is coming up right now and can't acknowledge it's a test. Because see, Shirley say you don't need a man, you need me. Until you see what it has cost you and what's made your reality. Two doorknobs can't open a door. Somewhere there has to be a lock. But until you can see your rarity, your uniqueness, your love of blessings of who you are, it will continue to be blocked. So what does 2017 mean, Gerald? You talked for a long time. Real recognizes real, y'all. It's time for you to get in line. Because there's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be standing there saying, this is it, afraid to look over their shoulder, take accountability of the things they've missed. You're not them, you never was them. You're the exception to the rule. Maybe the pain that you're going through was only meant so that you could be the tool. When the fool realizes God exists, the earth shakes. She's been swaying and burning and flooding. Maybe that's the reason why we're feeling these quakes. But see, I understand right now they say cash is king. And I want to be just like them. But they can't sleep at night. They got to constantly hold up their chin. You are made perfect. You are blessed. And until you decide to give a damn about yourself, there'll be another test. I love each and every one of you, and I just want you to know that there is better and there is more. You're going to let another year come by and pass you when you were standing at the door? If you already know what you need but refuse to claim, maybe that's the reason why you are silently depressed, only attracting more and the same. Listen, 2017 is going to be that door open year. This is that year that you're going to have to pick a side. What does your heart say? If you want better, need better, you got to be better. Because those people in the cheap seats are banking you won't do a thing. Misery loves company, y'all. I ain't going to tell you this. But if you don't listen to that heart and claim your life back, what a shame. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. He's been telling you the same thing and has nothing to show for it. The reason why he's doing it is because you opened the door for it. But trust when I tell you this. In the distance, there is one with their feet grounded, made new. They are the one. You see it in your dreams, and you say it to yourself, I would give up all I have. It's not worth the wealth. The question is, will you see and acknowledge what you're seeing? Why do you think they said you reap what you sow? If your hands ain't in it, you can't claim it. You can't manifest it. That's why God has already stated, you can pray all you want. Miss me with that. I need that authentic little boy or little girl. And I'll show you where it's at. Your blessing is on the other side of your fear. But until you decide to claim you, you'll watch someone else live your life while you're alone, feeling blue. You be blessed, y'all. And if I don't talk to you, you have a happy holiday. It's all about honoring Christ, honoring God, love, because you deserve it. Be blessed.